Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Again, thank you guys for tuning in and all the support I've recently received. I really appreciate it. So I'm back to the scene of the crime. I was here yesterday afternoon after work, came back to the spillway. This time I brought the fur babies. Kiko, which you guys have never met before, is the white one. She is new to the family. She's about, we don't know, we think she's about 1.5 years old. She's never been fishing before, so this is her first fishing adventure. So decided to bring her out, let her stretch her legs. We're still expecting a front to come through today, so I'm gonna try and get some fishing in for maybe an hour or two today, see what we can catch, and then pack it up and head back in, let them stretch their legs out and tire out so they can go home and relax for the rest of the day. But we did have some showers this morning or late last night, and so far the weather's held off. It's fairly warm and humid today, but there's supposed to be a rainstorm coming in later on today. So I'm hoping to still catch that bite, that last bite, just before the front comes in. So we'll see how we do. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let's check it out. Okay, so same setup as yesterday. I'm starting off with the black jig head with the chartreuse. This is 1/16 ounce jig head, 4-pound line, 7-foot ultralight rod, Series 2000 reel. Very, very light setup, very sporty. I've caught a lot of good fish with this exact setup. Certainly makes for casting a lot easier with this light line and lightweight. The wind is to my back, so hopefully it's not going to interrupt the audio too much. In reviewing my video footage from yesterday, I was noticing that I was catching the larger fish with the white jig head with the smoke body or the shad colored body. So I might switch up to that a little bit sooner, or I might use the other rig that I brought, the other pole, and have that set up on that one. Basically the same type setup, very exact same rod, small reel, and 4-pound line. We did get a little bit of rain last night, so hopefully we got a little bit of more water coming through, but I don't see much of a difference from yesterday. So just wanted the fur babies to come out here and get a chance to stretch their legs. So we'll see how we do today. We're not going to fish for very long, but hopefully we'll catch something. Okay, first fish of the day. Oh, he got off. I'm guessing since I didn't really set the hook very hard, that might have been a small bass. I'm very gentle with my hook sets because crappie have such thin membrane around their mouths. But that also gets me and screws me over when it comes to fishing if there are any bass in there, because I want to get a harder hook set in bass, and I just don't know which are going to be bass, which are going to be crappie. But it was right against that opposing wall over there. The predators tend to stack up right up against that wall because they can trap the bait fish against it. So I'm trying to target that opposite wall. I normally fish this side, but there seems to be a lot of snags there. There's a fish. Oh no, missed him. Kenji, got a fish on, fish on. Oh boy, what is it? What is it, Kenji? I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a nice sized crappie. All right. That's a good one. That is a good fish. Heck yeah. What do you say, Kenji? Ooh, right on the top of the lip, just where we want to get him too. All right, it's got all kinds of scratches on the side of it. I'm not sure what got added there. A lot of predators in this area, so who knows what's been feeding on these fish. No. All right, Kiko, look baby, come here baby. What's this? What's daddy got? What is that? Huh? Oh, you're always, she could care less. Kenji wants to eat it. What do you see? Look, see? All right, down. Okay, this is a good bite. This is a better fish. Good fish. Good fish. Yeah, looks like another crappie. Nice size slab. That's a good fish. Kenji, leave it. Leave it, buddy. Good boy. That is a good fish. That's a very good fish right there. Oh, got myself in a situation here. There's a good sized crappie. Let me see. I'd say maybe 11 inches, 10, 11 inches. Good fish. Ready? Want it? So focused. What do you say, Kiko? All right, another fish. Oh, Kidgy's gonna go get it for me. Smaller crappie. This is close to 6 or 7 inches, probably closer to 6 inches. There we go. Little one. Want it? Another good fish. All right. Definitely found a pattern. The nice thing about this area is there's just not a lot of water. There's really not a lot of places where the fish are going to be. They're either going to be at the base of the dam or they're going to be further downstream. But as you can see, I can cast all the way across. It's below average, but wow, that was aggressive. But I can literally cast all the way across here, so I can fish all of this water all the way to the next. There's almost like a little rapids, like the rocks, and where the kind of breaks up a little bit down there. So I can fish this whole pocket right here and cover every bit of the water. There's only so many places the fish can hide. So it's just a matter of finding out where they're at and where the active fish are at. There's fish all up and down this waterway, but it's a matter of which ones are the ones that are going to bite. So that is your job as a fisherman, to find out what's the pattern, where the fish are located, what they're biting on, what they like. Do they like a slow presentation? Do they like a fast presentation? Do they want a little bit more action, less action, flash, no flash? Considering, you know, the conditions that I already know about this waterway, it's mostly just nice and slow, steady retrieve. Every once in a while I might stick my finger out like this, let the line hit that, and you can see my rod tip bouncing there. That makes the lure bounce in the water. It adds a little bit of extra action in there, but again, still reeling very slowly, and you know, just letting the fish pretty much hook themselves. I'm fishing with really sharp jig heads. The points on these hooks are really sharp. So mostly what I'm waiting for the fish to do is take the lure in their mouth and bow my rod. Once they bow my rod over, I kind of just raise it, and that sets the hook. I don't violently jerk back on the rod. They pretty much hook themselves. The downside to that, like I was saying earlier, is if I get a bass on there, bass are going to require a stronger hook set because their mouths are tougher than crappies. But since 99% of the fish I'm going to catch out of here are crappie, I'm sticking to the same technique. Okay, I was fishing further upstream over there. I moved down, saw some activity over here, fish biting or chasing stuff right along the opposite bank over there. So following the same pattern that I've been doing, is kind of going further downstream than I normally fish. Seems to be a lot more activity down over here. So we'll give this a try. I honestly don't fish this part of this spillway very often. It's been a couple of years since I've actually been this far downstream, and I'm talking 50 yards. We're not talking, you know, it was a long hike or anything like that, but I rarely fish this area, so I'm not familiar with what the structure is doing underneath the water. So we're just gonna have to figure it out. Little fish, at least it feels little. Hasn't really, oh, not bad, not bad. Okay, and I'm sure this is what I saw feeding. Again, good sized fish. This is, I think, fish number 4. One of the things I said in my previous video, if you look right here on the head of this jig head, all the paint has been knocked off. That's from it hitting these rocks. It's bouncing. There's rocks all along just like this in the water there, and I'm bouncing it right over the top of those rocks. I'm gonna get hung up for sure because I'm fishing along the rocks, but that's what you want. That's a good sign. That's telling me that it's where I want it to be. I want it at the bottom, as deep as I can get without getting hung up, and just kind of bouncing off the rocks. Oh, not rocks like that though. And I might have to snap off. But this is going to give me the opportunity. I'm actually going to switch colors. I'm going to go to a white head with the natural shad colored body, the smoke color. Okay, so switching up again, more natural looking presentation. White jig head, still a 1/16 ounce with the smoke or shad colored body. Everything else is exactly the same. Sometimes just changing up, no matter how much confidence you might have in something. As much as I say I love chartreuse, If it's not producing, it's not producing. The fish are going to tell you what they want. So we're switching it up and see if we get some better luck with this color. And on the first cast. So there you go. The fish will tell you what they want. And again, just like yesterday, the larger fish were caught on this presentation. That's a good size crappie. That's maybe the largest one of the day. So there you go. Sometimes I'm stubborn. Sometimes I stick to something because I've had success in the past, and stick to it and really kind of shoot myself in the foot. I took the opportunity since I had to break off that last jig. I said, well, you know what? I'm not getting the kind of bites that I normally would get. So we're gonna go with more natural look. And very first cast, there you go. Okay, move back up to the base of the dam again. Finally, I caught one fish right off that little point right there. This, without a doubt, is the largest fish of the day. That's a nice crappie right there. Healthy fish. It's a good fish. Cold, very cold. But right along the edge of that wall right there. And I'm wondering if that's where they're all kind of stacking up. Fishing right along the edge of the wall. Just staying as parallel as I can to that. Okay, fish on. I think I might have figured out the pattern. Oh, it's good fish. That's a good fish. Whoa. Oh, that's a good fish. We're gonna come down to him. That's a very good fish. This might be the biggest crappie I've ever caught. Kenji, leave it. Leave it. Leave it, buddy. Move. Move. Thank you. Oh, leave it. No. Yeah, buddy. That is a nice size crappie right there. Woo! Fat too. Look at that. That thing's been eaten. Good fish. Good fish. All right. He's heavy too. That's a good size fish. All right. That's maybe a pound and a half. What do you say, Kiko? All right. So actually what I did is I cast at the base of that wall, and instead of retrieving it, all I did was just let the current push the lure down, and every once in a while just bounce it up. So it looked like an injured fish that had just come through the dam. So, and on the very first time doing that, I got this strike. So we'll try it again. But I'm gonna get some pictures of this. What do you say, Kenj? Definitely gotta get some pictures of the bad boy. That's a good fish. Okay, so what I did on that previous cast is right at the base of that wall. And this time just kind of let it float down. Every once in a while, just pop it up. Now the problem with this is there's a lot of snags over there. I will get snagged. I am going to lose lures. But this mimics a minnow or a small shad that got sucked through the dam and is disoriented or injured. And what I'm looking for, if I don't feel the bite, I can actually see the line jump when a fish takes it in. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I was using today. These are the speed shad. You get these at Bass Pro Shops. They're supposed to have a scent to them. I don't know how much scent matters that much. Apparently, I guess it does to a certain extent. Once the fish get them in their mouths, they don't really attract them for a long distance, but when the fish get close enough, they're able to taste them in the water. So what the shad looks like is this little body like this. So you got this tail here that kicks in the water. So that's gonna be kicking back and forth. And all these ripples along here, you'd be amazed how much vibration that gives off in the water. I could feel it through my rod. If I could feel it, I know the fish can feel it. So, and then these were the jig heads I was using. They're Eagle Claw 1/16 ounce laser sharp. They are very, very sharp. Bought a pack of 25 for $5 at Bass Pro Shops. You can get them online. I'm sure you could get them through Amazon. And the way I was rigging them up, you have your hook here. This is a longer than normal jig hook. And just kind of put them in like this with the tails going down and rig them up like that. So in the water, it's gonna look something like this. And that's all it was. A really, really simple setup. Nothing too fancy about it. And the nice thing about this setup is you can fish it many different ways. You can just do a steady retrieve. You can, if you're fishing current like this, you can just kind of let it bounce along the bottom and roll along the bottom. You can jig it back, which is meaning bouncing it up and down like this. A lot of different things you can do with it. That's why one of the reasons I really like using jigs a lot. Another thing I like is curly tails, but the speed shad I was introduced to earlier this year over the summertime. All right, sorry, the battery ran out on me, but the speed shad I was introduced to earlier this summer, and I've caught all different kinds of species of fish, from largemouth bass, rock bass, my first ever smallmouth bass. I've caught obviously crappie, I've caught bluegill, shell cracker, all different kind of species. And the reason is they mimic a minnow. They look like a minnow, they're the right size, and they give off so much vibration and action, and they're so versatile. So besides curly tails, these are definitely up there on my have to have in my tackle box list. I haven't used them in salt water, but I'd imagine the same thing, because if you can use them to mimic finger mullet, or they make them larger. You can get larger ones and mimic larger mullet, or whatever it is that their fish are foraging on. So big fan of these. Again, I'm not associated with any of these products. I just tell you what works for me, and I like it. Anyway, not as productive today as yesterday, but still caught some fish, had some fun. The dog brought the dogs out. Kiko's first ever fishing adventure. That was pretty cool. Gonna head on home now and get ready to watch some football. So anyway, everyone, thank you so very much for tuning in today, and we'll see you on the next fishing adventure.